turn 13 of Operation Valkyrie, the United States and KMT turn. It's been a hot minute, but I'm back, so let's get into the turn. All right. America has 5 tech rolls. So, jet fighters, which is at stage 3, long-range aircraft, which is at stage 3, large ship construction, which is at stage 3, strategic rockets, which is at stage 1, and for the new guy on the board, we're going to go for amphibious doctrine. For, well, obvious reasons. So let's go first up with amphibious doctrine, since that's the only 7 or greater technology here. That's an 11, so stage 1 for that guy. Jet fighters need an 8 or better here. That's a 4, so get a +1 to that next turn. Long-range aircraft, 8 or better on this one. That's a 10, so that's a completed technology there as well. Putting my +3 I had back for that. That was, geez, that technology has been unnecessarily hard on all of us. Large ship construction here, 8 or better there. And that's a 6. So I'll now have a +2 to that next turn. And lastly, strategic rockets. I've got a +2 to this. 2 + 7 = 9. That's all I need. So that's now at stage 2. Oh, sorry, here. There you go, 7. All right, let's go on over to the purchase. Lost $3 to Jinx's convoy rating for $4, militia upgrade and a militia. For $12, 2 destroyers, $8 replacing the fortification that's, well, on stage 2, as well as finishing the one that's currently on stage 2. So just do a switcheroo, and that's going to be Lend-Lease to France. Britain's getting fighter. America's building a heavy bomber. Moving these guys up one more stage on the build place. And then for 13, infantry, marine, and a transport. So let's get into some combat. America is going to run the gauntlet. These 5 destroyers and 2 light cruisers are going to force the Strait of Gibraltar and engage the Italians in the Mediterranean. So, got a few dice to roll for that before the battle can commence, but there's that. Although we do also have some strategic bombing as well. So we're gonna head up to Europe. And in similar fashion, the strategic bomber 1, 2 to Bavaria, and this heavy strategic bomber 1, 2, 3 to Western Germany. And I believe that is all of the attacks. I'll just survey the board once more. Yeah, America doesn't quite have the forces to launch, well, any major operations beyond this. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's do, I suppose, the bombing first. I think I'll actually have to get out. Well, this might take most of my dice. Never mind. No, it won't. I'm good. So it'll take 1d6. We'll go black dice for the anti-aircraft. 2d6, sorry, for the strategic bomber. 3 or less on the black dice is an anti-aircraft hit. 4, so that's a miss on there, and I do 4 damage as well to the Bavarian factory. And that has a total now of 6, 7, 8 damage. And now the heavy strategic bomber in Western Germany. 12 misses there, so 11 damage on Western Germany. All right. Very nice, really putting in the work there. I'm just gonna adjust my little flame tokens. So 13, 14, I think I've got 15 damage on that factory now. All right, the bombers have survived the gauntlet, but let's see if the ships will, who are forcing the Strait of Gibraltar. So, these are the destroyers, these are the light cruisers. I believe it's a 3 or less is a hit, and it is sunk. So, well, let's roll some dice. One of each, one destroyer and one light cruiser. So, take those dice out of the equation and the pieces off the board. Good and worse, good and better. So, here goes. Here is the opening onslaught. 2 hits, one from the destroyer and one from the light cruiser, against the Italians' 4 total ships. So here are the destroyers, and then there's the light cruiser and the heavy cruiser. I'm kind of using my own paint jobs, but, well, can't use the same for the destroyers because I'm actually out of blues. So the Italians are going to have green destroyers, rather. Here goes nothing. 1, 2 hits in return for them as well. All right, so they lose their 2 destroyers, and I'll lose my 2 destroyers. All right, this is most definitely turning into a dice-off, because what survives, here I'll show you in terms of the dice, is 2 destroyers and a light cruiser against a light cruiser and a heavy cruiser. So, here goes nothing. The Americans, 1 more hit, misses from the destroyers, and the Italians, 2 misses. So, the light cruiser goes down. Sorry, just adjusting the dice real quick. And now we can roll them all at the same time. The Italians have 1 ship left, and that's their heavy cruiser. The rest of the dice are the Americans. 5 is a hit, so we each score 1 more hit. And thus the transport also is defeated. And the Americans come out with a lone destroyer and well, not a lone destroyer, but 1 destroyer and 1 cruiser. A far significantly smaller fleet than entered, but a victory nonetheless. So now we're on to non-combat, and let's do this real quick. So the bombers have to fly back, and the heavy bomber that went, or not the heavy bomber, the strategic bomber that went to Bavaria just goes 1, 2, 1, 2. So a total of 4, plenty of range. And the heavy one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, plenty of range. I think now they're at, from an airbase, they've got 8, give or take, maybe 9, I forget. But, well, right now I'm not quite using it all this turn anyway, so it's all good. This tactical bomber is going to go into Paris. Actually, no, let's put it up in London. That sounds, oh my goodness, that sounds good. So we'll do that. Then let's see here. How do we want to do this? Yeah, both the Marine and the Infantry will move up to Picardy. Doesn't look like it, but they're trying. A lot of space on the board to fill here. And then let's head over just a little bit more over here. And this guy is going to do the strategic naval movement. So 1, pick up the 2 guys, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then offload both those 2 men into Normandy. Then we'll have yeah, I suppose. So we'll have 1, 2, 3 the naval transports there. Move all the way over. And all right, let's try to show some cross some cross-continent movement here. So we're going to rail all four of the infantry, I suppose. 3 from San Francisco and 1 from the Pacific Northwest. All the way on over to Nova Scotia. So 4 infantry shall be there in Nova Scotia. There. Awesome. And I believe that just about does it for this side of the board. So let me walk you over to the Pacific. After suffering some, well, minor defeat, so I'll give it that. In the Pacific, we shall load up this 1 light tank onto the surviving transport in P4 and grab the entire fleet, 1, 2, into P23. As well as moving up the rest of the fleet that is here in Hawaii. So this sub is actually going to 1, 2 to P23, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. Large contingent in Hawaii then. And you know what? Let's see. Yeah, let's leave it at that. That seems pretty good right there. All right, so let's do a little bit of placement. Back on the build queue for the battleships. There's the Lend-Leases, there's that. Yes, all right, so the destroyers both get placed in P25. The militia placement will be going in the Attu Islands up in Alaska, and then everything else will be over here on the eastern seaboard. So one of these militia here in New England shall be upgraded to an infantry, as well as the placement in New York of the Marine, the infantry, and the transport. Yes, and that transport will be in port. Let me grab a marker just so that I don't forget, just because I see that it may be possible for an Italian sub to reach out and do a little bit of poking, but in port should be all right. So then next up is actually everything else will be over here. The American heavy bomber will be placed in London. The fighter will be lend-leased to southern England. And the fortification obviously is lend-leased to France. And it's to my understanding that it gets placed right now. If it's incorrect, either the guys will let me know, or one of you can let me know, and we'll get that fixed right up. But to my understanding, that's how that works. And so it's going to go into the Alsace-Lorraine facing Bavaria. Right there. Kind of tough to see. I really should probably get some army cards out here for the next turn for the Allies. But yeah, that's something I'll do in between turns. For now, I'll throw it on over to Fighting Irish. At the top of, here, let me move this real quick. Top of turn 14. There we go. All right. America's gonna collect its good old 73 as usual. 61 plus 12, 73. All right, later everyone.